Hey people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for part 4 of my favorite books with Achillean main characters to continue the celebration of LGBT plus Pride Month. For those who don't know, Achillean is an umbrella term for men-loving men, which includes non-binary people. The first book on this list is called So This Is Ever After. This book is a YA fantasy that follows a young boy who's the chosen one who's now inherited the kingdom. However, in order to keep the kingdom, he must get married. This book is so good. First of all, the world building was so easy to understand, and it was so cohesive, and it was absolutely so vivid and so engaging. Second of all, the plot was so engaging and absolutely so intriguing and so well done. I had really low expectations before reading this book because the author previously wrote In Deeper Waters last year, but I thought this book was so much better and absolutely so good. Anyway, where was I? The characters were so well developed and so distinct, and I really enjoyed the group dynamic at its core because it was so well done and so wholesome and so lovely. The Achillean romance was so well done, and it was absolutely so well developed and so lovely, and I really enjoyed it. This book is so good because it's so fluffy and it's so wholesome, and it was absolutely so lovely. So anyway, with all that said, I would highly recommend this book. The next book on this list is kind of like an angstier version of So This Is Ever After, and it's called The Witch King. For those who don't know, this book is a YA urban fantasy that follows a young transgender witch who must face his traumatic past and the fiancé that he left behind in order to save a fey kingdom. This book is so good, and it's absolutely so amazing and so well developed in every single element. First of all, the world building was so rich, and it was so, engaging, and so vivid, and absolutely so well developed, and so easy to visualize and understand. Second of all, the plot was so engaging and absolutely so intriguing. Third of all, the characters were so well developed and so distinct. I love the friendships in this story as well, because they were so lovely and so wholesome, but the world building really brought it all home. Literally, this book is so good. Anyway, the Achillean romance was so well developed and absolutely so lovely. I've mentioned this before, but I'm so excited to read the sequel. Again, I know it's already out by the time that you're watching this video because I'm pre-filming this video on the 21st of May. But anyway, this book is so good and it's absolutely so worth its hype and so much more. So with all that said, I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Caf Comunici. This book is a YA contemporary that follows a pair of sons whose parents have rivaling businesses, but they must work together in order to save their parents' businesses. So that's fun. This book has rivals to levels in it, and honestly, I thought that because of that, I wouldn't enjoy this book as much as I enjoyed Meet Cute Diary, which is the author's previous book, but honestly, I ended up enjoying this book way more than Meet Cute Diary. And this book, as I've mentioned multiple times, takes the cake over Meet Cute Diary because it was so good. First of all, the two perspectives really work together so well. Although initially in the beginning I couldn't tell the characters apart, but then as the characters started to become more developed and more distinct, I started to be able to tell them apart, and then I absolutely fell in love with the characters individually as they fell in love with each other. Literally, the romance is so fluffy and it's so lovely and it's absolutely so cute. The plot is so intriguing and so engaging as well, and the individual family dynamics were so lovely and so well developed. This book is so good, and it's worth all of its hype and so much more. And like I mentioned before, I prefer this book over Meet Cute Diary. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend this book. The next book on this list is called Blaine For The Win. This book is a YA contemporary that follows a young Achillean main character as he runs for class president to prove to his ex that he is actually a serious guy. This book was so good, and it really exceeded my level expectations. I had lower expectations for this book because first of all, the author previously wrote The Sky Blues last year, which I rated 3 stars, and second of all, I don't usually like politically driven stories, especially in contemporary settings, but with this book, honestly, it made the plot so much more engaging and more intriguing than I was expecting. Like, I was so hooked in this book from the very beginning to the end. First of all, the characters were so well developed and so distinct, and we loved to see it. Second of all, the romance was so cute, and it was absolutely so lovely and so well developed. Third of all, the friendships were so wholesome and so fluffy and so lovely. Like, this book is so good. And again, why is nobody talking about this book? Because it's so good and it's so fluffy and it's absolutely so wholesome and happy. This book is so good. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Kiss and Tell. This book is a YA contemporary that follows a young boy who's in a publicly famous boy band, and he's navigating what it means to be queer in the spotlight. This book is one of my 5-star favorites of this year because it's so amazing and it's absolutely so well done. It is also one of my most anticipated 2022 new releases because it's written by the same author who wrote the Darius the Great duology, which I've really enjoyed, and I'm so glad this book lived up to those expectations. This book is so good. Honestly, I think it made me cry at least once, so we love to see it, and that goes to show how emotionally connected and emotionally invested I was in the characters and in the events, and basically, like, this book is so good. First of all, the story was so amazing and so well done. Second of all, the characters were so well developed and so distinct. The Achillean romance was so lovely, and it was absolutely so awesome. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. This book is so good, and it's absolutely so emotional, and it's so amazing, and it really hooked me from the very beginning to the end, because I loved every single element about it, because I felt like every single element about it was so well developed. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend this book. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called The City Beautiful. This book is a YA historical fantasy that follows a young boy, and it's about a city and the shadows of the past that bind them together. This book is so good, and it's absolutely so well done. First of all, the Jewish culture really came through the pages, and also this book is set against the backdrop of Chicago's World Fair in 1893, which is such an interesting setting, and it was so vivid and so engaging and absolutely so rich. I'm so excited to read the author's next book, which I believe comes out at the very end of this year, if I'm not mistaken, maybe earlier, maybe in October or something like that. But anyway, I'm so excited to read it because this book was so good. First of all, like I mentioned, the world building was so well done and so well developed. Second of all, the plot was so intriguing and absolutely so engaging. Third of all, the characters were so well developed and so distinct. Fourth of all, the Achillean romance was so lovely and it was absolutely so well done. This book deserves all its hype and so much more. So with that, I would highly, highly recommend it. So, in conclusion, first of all, happy Pride Month. Second of all, in case you want some more recommendations, I have linked in the description box below parts 1 through 3 if you haven't seen those videos already. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the dolphin emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!